Hello, YouTube. Card Hound here. After spending a week with the kids for spring break, I decided before work tomorrow to do another video. So I do have some recent pickups that I did want to show you guys. So I'll just start it off. Like the previous videos, a little bit of baseball, football, and basketball. So let's start off with first some baseball. And the first card I have up is a John Smoltz, 1989 Upper Deck. He does have some 88 cards as well, but this is his Upper Deck rookie, and that is a PSA 10, recently inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I love those Atlanta teams with, all their great pitchers with Glavine and Greg Maddux, and then also, Chipper Jones and those guys. So, pretty big fan of John Smoltz, especially considering the number of, saves. I think it's something like, what is it, 200 wins and 200 saves or something like that. But just, really a great pitcher and very consistent as well. So happy to get the John Smoltz card. Next card I got is obviously a card that every collector should get. The 85 Topps Mark McGwire rookie. So many memories obviously about Mark McGwire from the, him and Canseco with the A's and, and then, going obviously into the Cardinals and, the home run race with Sammy Sosa and all that. Just, obviously an epic power hitter, obviously the steroid allegations and all that stuff. But, like I've said before, I don't really care about that. I just, really have always loved the card. And there's the back of it. So got it in a PSA 9. Definitely a card that I had to get for my collection. So those are two baseball cards. Now, the next one is one that I am super excited to get, and that is a 1997 Bowman Chrome Adrian Beltre. So I think I've told you guys before I'm in Texas. So he's currently with us in Texas. If you look at this guy's stats, it's amazing. So he's 36 years old. He has over 2,700 hits. He has over 400 home runs. And he recently, I think about a week ago, asked the Rangers for a 3-year contract extension. So this guy has the potential to get over 3,000 hits and over 500 home runs. Now, the hits, I would say he's pretty much a shoo-in unless he has a major injury. But the home runs, I think he has an outside shot at 500 home runs. I mean, he's still got some power. He had some injury issues last year. But really excited about the card, especially in a PSA 10. It's beautiful. The centering, corners, everything are beautiful on that one. So really excited to get that one, like I said, especially being a Ranger fan. So big addition to the collection there. The next one is a future Hall of Famer in Jim Thome. So a 1991 Bowman. Thome always never just like a ridiculous power hitter. I mean, I know he hit 40 home runs several times, but just a really long career. And he was always cranking, 30 home runs a season, occasionally 40 home runs, but just a real consistent hitter, consistently hitting for power. And I was also a pretty big fan of the Indians teams back in the day. So, and obviously he was one of the power hitters on those teams. So happy to get the Jim Thome again in a PSA 10. So, and there's the front again. So those were the baseball pickups that I got. So let's move on then. The next set of cards I want to go through is some football pickups. First one is a pretty big one for me. So again, referring back to the previous videos, I am a Cowboy fan. I'm in Texas. I'm in the Dallas area. So who better to pick up than, Troy Aikman? The crazy thing about this one is you guys might notice I'll get PSA, I'll get Beckett graded. If I get Beckett graded, especially on a card like this that means so much to me, the subgrades are really important. So on this one, the subgrades were all 9.5s, and then we have 110. So this is even better than a quad 9.5. Got it for a really good deal. Was actually looking for a PSA 10, but when I saw this one on eBay, I pretty much had to get it. It's also kind of weird because down on the bottom, it looks like when Beckett actually encased it, there's a little bit of fuzz or something. There's a little white piece of some type of debris on the bottom of it, but I could always get it, re-slabbed if I wanted to. But there's the back. Again, a huge card for me. I mean, 3 Super Bowls, just, not the most mobile quarterback. I mean, he didn't have the improvisation of a Brett Favre, but accuracy. I've never seen a quarterback as accurate as Troy Aikman that could consistently hit his receiver, in between the numbers. So obviously, huge card for me. The next one, the Minister of Defense, 1986 Topps Reggie White, almost 200 sacks for his career. Obviously he got a Super Bowl with Brett Favre going to Green Bay. I always really remember him with the Eagles. My parents, we had the misfortune of having season tickets in 1989 when the Cowboys only won 1 game, and the 1 win was at RFK in Washington away from home. So we saw 8 losses at home. So we were actually at the Bounty Bowl where Buddy Ryan had supposedly put a bounty on Troy Aikman and I think the kicker, Raphael Septien. So Reggie White obviously was the leader of that defense. I think they sacked Aikman like 8 or 9 times in that game. So he took a beating as a rookie, but just, a tremendous player. Started off in the USFL, so he has a USFL card. I would like to get that one day, but at least this is the card with him in the Eagles uniform. Just an epic player. He's also the person that Larry Allen, my beloved offensive lineman, credits with him ended up becoming the strongest man in the NFL because he said when he went up against Reggie White, he knew he had to get stronger to be able to compete in the league. So just, an amazing guy. Obviously, again, a guy that died, well before his time, but a legendary football player. So I just want to give him a little bit of extra time because he was just an amazing player. And so one more card that would be big for me as a Cowboy fan. I've had this card once before, but I picked it up again. Again, I'm a sucker for a Beckett Quad 9.5. So Dez Bryant. He's our go-to guy. Last year just had a myriad of injuries. But, if we're going to go anywhere, it's going to be with Dez Bryant. So that is the front and that is the back of it. He sometimes does remind me a lot of Michael Irvin with how emotional he is and how competitive he is. I just think sometimes maybe he needs to channel it a little more productively sometimes, but just a great player. And I have, nothing but positive things to say about him. And, hopefully him and Romo next year will have, healthy seasons and, we'll have a bounce back year. So that is it for the football. And so the next card, I have probably, like a lot of guys my age, I have a soft spot for anybody that was on the 1992 U.S. Olympic team in basketball. So John Stockton, obviously a point guard, one of the point guards on that team along with Magic Johnson. All-time leader in assists. I also believe all-time leader in steals. Tremendous player. He did have an earlier star card. This is obviously not that, but it is his 88 Fleer rookie in a Mint 9. So I'm going to leave the backup on this one, and there's a reason for that, and that is because the next card that I'm going to show you is my very first MJ card, right? So it's the same year. It's an 88 Fleer Michael Jordan. So this would be his 3rd-year card. Now, again, Jordan also has an earlier star card. I'm really just going by the Fleer cards on this. The centering is not the best on the front. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not as centered as I would like it to be. Like, for example, with the Stockton, the centering on the front is a little bit better. The thing that I did not realize prior to purchasing the Jordan is if we flip these 2 cards over, so here's the Stockton on the back, the Jordan on the back is way off center in the back. So I didn't realize that before I purchased the card. I'll probably keep this card instead of selling it, but I'll probably buy another one where it's got more consistent centering front and back, considering he is the greatest of all time, at least in my opinion. So, I do want to have a really quality version of that one. So that is those two cards. And the next one. So not a guy that I am a super fan of, but it's just a guy that I just seem to consistently run into being a Mavericks fan is Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade, we played him, I believe it was in the 2006 finals, and he almost single-handedly beat us. I mean, he just was a one-man wrecking crew and ended up beating the Mavericks in that series. And then obviously he was with LeBron and Chris Bosh, and then we finally got our first championship against him. But he's a three-time world champion. Has gone to the Olympics. Just a tremendous player. He's right at the cusp of having 20,000 points, and this is also a quad 9.5. So all 9.5s on that one. And again, I'm a sucker for those. So instead of getting a PSA 10, I went ahead and went with that one. The final card, and this is probably going to be one kind of like the Tony Gwynn in the last video. I'm probably going to gush a little bit about this one. That's why I saved it for last. Just got this one in the other day, and it is a beauty. So a 1997 Topps Chrome Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, if you look at his career, it is crazy how similar this guy's career is to Kobe Bryant. He has the same number of championships, 5. Kobe has more points. Tim Duncan has more rebounds and blocks. I think such an underrated player. I mean, he's probably the greatest power forward that's ever played the game. I mean, I guess, Karl Malone would probably have something to say about that, but just an amazing player, like I said, and I think a guy that's not completely appreciated, because I know he's not a flashy player, but just, I was so excited to get this card. I mean, I think he will end up going down as one of the true greats in NBA history. So very excited to get that one. And again, there's the front of that one. And so that is really it as far as this video, guys. So, I guess the only thing that I was going to say is I'm kind of toying around with, I'm already working on the next video already and collecting. I've already collected probably 3 or 4 cards that I'm going to probably put in my next video. I'm kind of thinking at some point about maybe doing an all baseball or an all basketball or all football or, maybe an all running back and, get just a slew of running backs or quarterbacks or centers or something like that. So if you guys have any ideas on any of that of, maybe like a particular theme or something, because I am getting kind of not necessarily burned out, but I think I do want to kind of mix it up a little bit as far as what I want to do in future videos. So if you guys do have any ideas, just let me know. But I hope you like these. I will say for the next video, I have some, like I said, I've already gotten 3 cards that I have on the way for the next video. They are really nice. So I'm excited about the next one. It'll probably be similar to this with some football, baseball, and basketball. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. And, I'm still watching all your videos. And take care, and thanks for watching.